You're back on the air with Eric and Robin Gagnon from We Sell Restaurants. We are on your radio once a week, and remember, our goal is to satisfy your appetite for acquisition, feed the need for restaurant reality, and serve up a recipe for business success. You can find us online at WeSellRestaurants.com. That's WESELL Restaurants with an S.com. Today, we're talking about POS systems. Eric, what are your questions about POS for our three excellent guests?
Well, we got three great guests today, and I'd like to talk about something that we haven't brushed before. There's so many things we can talk about, but let's talk a bit about digital wallets and other forms of payment. Some people in this country have some, apprehension and changes. We've been set in our ways for so long. So, Paul, why don't you talk to us a little bit about that and what's going on with that, and I'll ask Jaret and Sastry to chime in after that.
Well, basically, these alternative payment methods, none of them have really, I'd say, taken a huge market hold, but it's definitely exciting technology, right? I'm sure everybody's heard of Bitcoin. There's all the Bitcoin drama all the time. World governments don't really know how to classify it as a currency or what it is, but it is a, alternative payment method out there, and to a lot of people, a lot of the early adopters, it is currency, just like, holding dollars in your pocket. So that's pretty exciting stuff right there, and that's called a cryptocurrency, actually. So basically every single transaction is, assigned its own crypto key and is totally secure, as of right now at least. There's other stuff like digital wallets. I'm sure everyone's heard of ISIS Digital Wallet. I believe they're partnered with Verizon, and that basically gives you your funds available on your phone with near-field communication. There's other services like Level Up that are not tied in directly to your mobile device, but they're a digital wallet nonetheless. And I mean, those have taken Level Up in particular has kind of taken hold in individual markets, but not, I don't think, really nationwide. But like I said, they're very interesting and exciting technologies to stay on top of and hopefully choose the ones that are going to really take off.
Hey, Sastry, let me ask you this. With a discussion about digital wallets and failure to adopt, new ways of paying, is there an apprehension on the part of the consumers or on the part of the restaurant operators about security and hacking and someone getting at the data? What's your thoughts? And give us a relatively brief answer on that, if you could.
Absolutely. Thank you. And we think when we think about the problem, what we see is for the consumer, the mobile wallet provides very marginal advantages to just swiping a credit card. And I think more than just security, it's just simply what is the utility that it provides. That's the fundamental problem that has to be solved. And one of the things that we see is brands that have higher degrees of adoption, such as Starbucks compared to other brands, have approached it from a very fundamental thing, which is you've got to align and provide incentives to the consumer. So it's not just about convenience of the payment. It's also, when you do it, can you provide an offer in return?
So what's in it for me?
And that essentially leads to higher degrees of adoption.
Yeah, that makes sense. That consumer is saying, what's in it for me? What's my value add from changing just my traditional habit? And Jared, what are your thoughts?
Well, a number of good topics there, but on as far as consumer security and fear over data, I'd take a kind of buck the trend a little bit on this and say that largely the system that's in place now ensures and protects consumers more than they probably believe from the headlines. Even when you look at Michael's or Target's, big compromises right now. I mean, there's never been really a consumer that's been forced to pay a bill that they didn't create on their credit card. Now, if it's stolen identity, that's a different scenario. But a lot of these breaches, I think the damage is more from the reaction to it than what actually happens from pure fraud. That said, it does hurt the card issuers. The card issuers have a hell of an incentive to get away from it, and that's one of the biggest drivers around our previous EMV discussion.
Great.
All right, let me see.
Eric always asks the numbers questions. I think he's going to tie you down on the numbers now.
This is the time. We're almost running up against the break, but I want to know, after 15, 20 minutes on our show, you're a friend, and when friends in the show, we talk about money. So I want to hear from you guys, roughly each one of you, cost for your products, and see if it's affordable from the small guy to the big guy. So let's start with Paul, tell me about mobile POS. What we're looking at per terminal cost, maybe to give even keel to everybody.
Quickly.
All right, well, mobile point of sale, like I said, it's software as a service model, and we are not in the hardware business. So the hardware is consumer-based. It can be ordered from anywhere. It's commodity, so that's the price of an iPad, the price of a credit card reader, a thermal printer, and whatever else hardware they need there, like cash drawers, etc. So as far as the software cost, it is $55 a month. There is no contracts, no other additional fees other than that. I mean,
Okay, let's get Sastry to weigh in very quickly on his system.
Yeah, so we have two components. One is a setup fee for creating a branded mobile app, and that applies to restaurant chains with 10 locations and up. For smaller restaurants, there is no setup fee or even much. And then second thing is we have a monthly subscription that starts with $150 per month and goes up based on specifically what functionality they want to add. They can start with just loyalty or increase it to other things like gift cards, surveys, payments, ordering, and iBeacon and so on. So that's basically how we...
So a la carte, they can choose exactly what they want, which is great.
That's exactly right.
Okay, and then Jared, why don't you weigh in for us on your system?
Sure. So the Harbortouch Elite is very much like a traditional POS system, Micros or Radian. It's not a mobile app. It's something you'd install in your restaurant at all the different stations. It's $69 a month per station, and that's hardware, software, programming, on-site installation, training, and support. And the big component of it is we do that as a loss leader to gain the credit card processing business.
Wow. That's outstanding. I mean, when we're looking at these numbers, obviously anyone in this industry from a single unit up to, 10, 50, 75 stores can definitely have the security and comfort of a great big name system behind them for a relatively minimal amount of investment on their part. This has been just a really great show focused on the POS industry as we continue to delve into those topics that are important to those listening, those who are operating restaurants or would be restaurateurs. This is Eric and Robin Gagnon. We're the Restaurant Brokers, and you've been listening to us live and We Sell Restaurants radio show. Remember, you can find us online at WeSellRestaurants.com, so we'd like you to do that. And also take a moment and like us on our Facebook page. We're at Facebook.com/We Sell Restaurants. We will post this show and direct links to our guests on our Twitter handle. That's at Sell Restaurants. And of course, we're on LinkedIn as well. We Sell Restaurants is your industry authority and source for information, and we are the Restaurant Brokers, Eric and Robin Gagnon.